Today we're going to talk about the uncomfortable side of German Shepherd training, the methods that get swept under the rug. Methods that aren't necessarily cruel when used correctly, but they can easily cross the line into abuse, especially when used on a breed as intelligent and sensitive as the German Shepherd. Shock collars. Do they really work? Now let me be clear. I don't think using shock collars for safety purposes, like an emergency recall if your dog is sprinting toward a highway, is cruel. But using them for day-to-day obedience training? That's another story. Shock collars are based on negative reinforcement. The dog learns to behave a certain way to avoid pain. But when you rely on fear or discomfort, it can lead to anxiety and insecurity rather than obedience. Studies back this up. Research has shown that punishment-based training leads to increased behavioral issues, stress, and reduced obedience over time. So, do shock collars work? Yes, in the sense that they create immediate responses, but is it the best way to train a German Shepherd? Absolutely not. Alpha or dominance-based training. The old-school dominance theory, the idea that you have to constantly assert yourself as the alpha by intimidating your dog, is outdated, ineffective, and frankly, cruel. Now, don't get me wrong. Your German Shepherd needs leadership. They need a structured environment, clear rules, and a confident owner. But that's not the same thing as trying to dominate them into submission. Forcing your dog into submissive positions, like the alpha role, doesn't establish leadership. It creates fear. Harsh corrections for disobedience can make your dog less trusting and more anxious. German Shepherds are problem solvers. If you teach them through intimidation, they'll either shut down or push back. What works better? Clear, consistent leadership. Train your dog to trust and respect you, not fear you. Deprivation-based training. This is one of those training methods that people don't even realize they're doing. Deprivation-based training means withholding things your dog needs as a way to force them to comply. It can look like withholding food or water to make your dog earn it, ignoring your dog completely because they didn't perform a command, denying social interaction as a punishment. This type of training can be emotionally damaging for a German Shepherd. These dogs are highly social, highly intelligent, and extremely bonded to their humans. If you deprive them of interaction, it can cause anxiety, behavioral issues, and even depression. Does this mean you should give them attention 24/7? But withholding love, interaction, or basic needs as punishment is cruel. Prong collars. A prong collar is designed to apply pressure around the neck when the dog pulls. If used correctly, it shouldn't be causing pain, just discomfort. But here's where things go wrong. People misuse them all the time. If the collar is too low on the neck, it digs into the dog's trachea. If it's jerked aggressively, it can cause an injury. If it's used on a dog that hasn't been properly trained to respond to leash pressure, it just creates fear. Again, I think there's a right way and a wrong way to use this tool. Right way? As a safety measure for people who physically struggle to control their dog. Wrong way? Using it as a shortcut instead of training your dog to walk properly on a leash. There are better alternatives, like no-pull harnesses and gentle leaders. If you're reaching for a prong collar, ask yourself if you've exhausted positive reinforcement methods first. Physical punishment, hitting, smacking, throwing things, or even flicking your dog's nose. All of these fall under physical punishment. Does it work? Well, sure. If you hit your dog, they'll stop whatever they were doing. But here's what happens next. They stop trusting you. They become anxious or reactive. They shut down and become fearful. German Shepherds don't need physical corrections. They're one of the most trainable dog breeds in the world. They respond to clear communication and reward-based learning. Why use force when you can use intelligence and positive reinforcement? The power of positive reinforcement. Here's the thing. German Shepherds are wired to please their owners. You can harness that natural drive in ways that build trust and deepen your bond. Reward what you want instead of punishing what you don't. Use their intelligence to your advantage. Turn training into a game. Be consistent and clear. They thrive on structured. In fact, studies have shown that dogs trained with positive reinforcement are more engaged, more obedient, and have fewer behavioral problems. Why? Because they want to learn. And that's what makes training a German Shepherd such an amazing experience. If you found this helpful, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss our next video.